Thank you, Alistair. Thank you for that question. And let me also just say a word of thank you to The Economist for convening us all together and doing this important discussion. Thank you to the organizers. I know how much work goes into an event like this, so thank you. And of course, a big thank you to my panelists, a very distinguished group. It's an honor to be among you. I'd also just say it's wonderful to be back in Thessaloniki. Over the last 3 years, I've been in Washington serving as Deputy Assistant Secretary in our European Affairs Bureau, covering Greece and other countries in the region. But even before that, I was in Sofia, Bulgaria, actually, for 3 years, from 2007 to 2010, and had many chances to come here to Thessaloniki at that time. Of course, that was a very different economic moment in Greece, but to come back and to see the dynamism, the economic growth that's clearly taken place is just fabulous. I've always loved the city, but to come back and see it doing so well is really wonderful. I think it's a testament to the local governance at the national level, but also to the people of this region and their incredible resilience and the human capital that's present here. U.S. investment in this region has been a part of that story, and we'd be happy to talk about that. But back to the point on energy, just to say I've had a chance to be back in Washington since the very first days of this new administration. And very much we see energy security as a key and fundamental part of an overall broader European transatlantic security picture. I think one of the key lessons that we've learned over the last several years is the danger of over-reliance on Russian energy. We've seen that on the economic side with supply disruptions and all of the unpredictability that brings. I actually remember a very cold winter that I was living in Bulgaria, where the gas had been turned off by the Russian suppliers to make a political point. And I think many around the table or around this room probably have had that experience or been affected by that in one way or another. But on the political side as well, I think we've seen those negative effects of the over-reliance on Russian energy. So I think where we are now is a consensus that's emerged in Washington, in Brussels, around the region on the need to move forward with a new architecture that eliminates or mitigates those negative effects of reliance on Russian energy, which is why the U.S. is so interested in the kinds of projects that the minister just mentioned, like vertical corridor. Obviously, this is a concept, a vision that needs to emanate from the region, but it's one that the U.S. strongly supports for several reasons. Partly, obviously, because it breaks this traditional monopoly that Russia has enjoyed, where all the transmission of energy has been east to west. This creates a new possibility, a counter to that, to provide additional competition going from north to south, from Greece to Bulgaria to Romania, Moldova, and on to Ukraine.
From south to north.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I say north to south? Yes, south to north. Exactly, and this is critical. It provides that competition that's so essential, both from a political and an economic lens. Right now, but I do think it's important, and this is something the minister alluded to about the work that's been done and the meetings that have happened, because it doesn't happen on its own. It will not, right? It takes innovation, it takes partnership across several areas. I would highlight three, which is one is the infrastructure. Now, a lot of the pipeline, the infrastructure already exists, but to increase capacity, to enable us to scale it up, there are key improvements that need to be made along the route. And maybe this is something we'll hear from other panelists about, but that's a key component. But it's something that the U.S. has played a role in as well, here, particularly in Greece, where the U.S. has committed through our DFC, Development Finance Corporation, $125 million to the Elefsina shipyards to make them able to maintain and support LNG ships so that more LNG can be brought in through Revithus and into the pipeline. Of course, also the floating storage and regasification unit at Alexandroupoli, a U.S. firm, Venture Global, is the primary player there. And that's been a project we've championed for quite some time. So the U.S. is also involved in that infrastructure piece. But the second piece I'd mention is the need to harmonize both our regulatory framework and the basically tax treatment for LNG shipments all along this line. An LNG provider needs to know when they're shipping to Greece and into this vertical corridor what will be the prices and the treatment of their supplies all along the route. So that's another important piece. Work's being done on this, but we need to continue. And then the final piece is just the economic scaling up of it. We need to be able to partner effectively the suppliers on the one end with the buyers and off-takers at various points along the route. All those things need to come together. An enormous amount of work's been done, but we need to kind of continue to push and move that forward. And then just finally, I would say that we don't look at it in theory as only an energy route, but could also be a transportation route as well. That plays into exactly what you were referring to earlier. When you create those linkages from south to north, rail, road, as well as energy, you're bringing people together in a way that could really be truly transformative to the region. It's good for the governments, it's good for stability, but it's also good for the individuals and communities and businesses all the way along that route.